For color mixing investigation number 3, you are going to pick 3 different colors of your choice. Color number 1, color number 2, color number 3. We are going to make a tint and a shade of each of those colors. A tint is when white is mixed with that color, and it'll make the color look lighter. A shade is when we mix a little black in with the color and it makes the color darker. So I'm going to experiment with that right now. If you have a white paint or a white pencil or a white crayon, that will help you. If you are using watercolor and you don't have a white, you can substitute just plain water for the white. I don't have a white marker, so I am not going to do this investigation with marker, but I am going to try it with crayon and I'm going to try it with watercolors. So I'm going to try this with watercolor. Some watercolor packs do come with a white in it. Mine does not. So I am going to substitute plain water when I want to add white. But I will tell you, you want to make sure that your water is clean, that it doesn't have other colors mixed in with it. So for color number 1, I'm going to use red. Okay, so I painted this red. Now for the tint, I'm going to actually add the water first. I'm going to put a lot of water on. We're pretending that's white. So lots of water. And then I'm going to put just a dot of red on top of the water and mix it in. And that'll give you the effect of a tint. So this will look better when it dries, but you can see that the tint is a little bit lighter than the actual color. It's more of a pink. So we have red, a tint of red. Now I'll do a shade of red. So I'm going to put red on top of it with a little bit of black. And with the darker color, you don't want to use as much because it will, when you're using the watercolors, it will tend to make the whole thing look too black. Okay, now I'm going to put just a dot of black in, a little bit of black in, but not too much. Just enough that I can see a difference. So now I have red, a tint of red, and a shade of red. And this is almost like a grayish red. I'll pick a second color. I think I will do green. Okay, I have my green. Now for a tint of green, cover it in white. If you don't have white, use your water as your white, but I'm going to put a lot of water on top of it, clean water. Make sure the whole thing's covered in water. And then I'm going to add just a little dot of green and mix that little dot of green around. When it dries again, it will look like a tint. So we have a color green and a tint of green. Now for the shade, I'm going to put regular green all over first. I'm going to go back and add some black on top. So we have green, a tint of green, which is light green, and you'll be able to see it better when it dries, and a shade of green, which is like a dark green. I think I'll do blue for my last color. Now for the tint, I'm going to put a lot of water in the circle first, pretending this is white. And then I'll go up to my color and get just a little dot of blue, put it in the middle and spread it around. It'll look better when it's dry. And then so I have my blue, I have a tint of blue. Now for my shade of blue, I'll start by painting it regular blue. I'm going to put some black with it. Now I have a shade of blue, which is like a darker blue. Okay, here are my watercolor tint and shade investigations now that they're dry. You can see my red. Here's my tint, which is like a pink, and my shade, which is like a dark red or a grayish red. And then I have green. Here's my light green tint and my dark green shade. And finally I have my blue, my light blue tint, and my dark blue shade. I'm going to demonstrate mixing color with white and black to make a tint and shade with crayons. So I am going to just do little tiny spots on here. So I'm going to use red this time. I'll color red in all the spaces. Okay, I do have a white crayon, so I'm going to put some white on top of the red and see what happens. So you can see that my tint is slightly lighter than my color. It made it more of a pink. Now I'm going to take the same color red, and it says black. I do not have a black crayon, but I have a dark gray. So that'll give you an idea. It will still make a shade of red. It just won't be as dark as it would with black. You might want to go lightly with your gray or your black just to make the red darker. I'll try it again with green, just like I did with the watercolor. Again, you can use any color you want. I'm going to do, this is actually a yellow green. I don't have a pure green right now, crayon. So I'll put I'll color it dark on each one. And you can color the whole circle, but I'm gonna go quickly and just color a little spot. Okay, so that's what the color looks like by itself. Now, to make a tint, I'll take my white and color some white on top. You can see it made the green a little bit lighter, so that's a tint of green or yellow green. And then for the shade, I'm going to take the gray and put some gray on top. I'm not going to make it too dark, just enough to change the color a little bit. And if you have black, make sure you don't color too dark. And it made the green a little bit darker. So we have green, light green, dark green. I'm going to pick one more color. I used blue in my watercolor, so I'm going to color some blue for my main color. And then I'll color some blue inside of the tint circle and some blue inside of the shade circle. Okay, for my tint, I'll take my white and I'm going to color a lot of white on top of that. And I just made it lighter. Now it's a light blue. So that's my tint. Now for my shade, I'm going to take my gray, or if you have black, and you can add a little bit more, just lightly color, but not too dark, so it still looks like blue. And it made it a darker blue. So that is my color mixing investigation with tints and shades using crayon.